Alright, my superhero deep dive family, welcome to a new episode. I've got to do my disclaimer, and then I've got some housekeeping to do, and then we'll get into it. So, I've got a great episode planned, but the information is pulled from different sources across the internet and may or may not be completely complete, but they do give a really good insight on the current superhero that we're talking about. Also, time for house cleaning. Okay, first things first. I had to skip Scarlet Spider this week. I know last week I talked about it, but I saw that he was in a comic story arc currently. I didn't know that before, and I don't want to give information that may be drastically updated or that may end up giving spoilers for something that's happening like as we speak. So I'm holding off on Scarlet Spider until further notice. I mean, I'm taking it off the list for now. I may come back around to it later on. Also, a few episodes ago, I said I would watch the Silver Surfer cartoon. I haven't forgotten about it. I actually did it. It was on Disney Plus and not YouTube. I don't think I ever need to watch it again. I watched it, and it was written like it was supposed to be Shakespeare, and I'm kind of done. It's definitely a one and done kind of series, and that's if you can make it to the end. I don't think I did. I watched it a couple weeks ago, and it just so happened that when I started watching it, I could find a million other things that needed to get done around my house. So take it for what you will. Also, one last thing. I recently got a request via email to do a show on the various comic book swimsuit issues, even as a slideshow for YouTube. So, while this would be funny, mainly because I don't think I discriminate between the male or female swimsuit photos. I think this was done so they could have me do it, I guess. I don't know. But I don't necessarily think it's the right thing for me to do. So sorry. If you guys would still like a slideshow of it, I mean, you can Google it, I'm sure. There were in the 90s and early 2000s, there were a lot of comic book swimsuit issues. Some of them are really cool. Like, I'll be honest, the Marvel swimsuit issues are awesome because they did male and female characters. And some of the swimsuits were really fashion forward at the time. I just don't think I need it on mine. But yeah. Let's see, anything else before I get into it? Oh yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, likes, requests for future episodes, feel free to let me know. You can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, and once in a very blue moon, Twitch under Super Deep Dive, and use the hashtag superherodeepdive. You can also catch me every Tuesday and Thursday throughout the day on Outworld Fleet Radio, which is an internet radio station. Their website is www.un-con-ventional.com/radio. And I upload new videos every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive. Please like, subscribe, share. Help me grow the channel. It'd be great. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So, I think that's about it for that. Oh, and you can always email me directly as well. My email address is b4itall. So b4itall at yahoo.com. DMs, private messages, comments, emails are always open. I don't necessarily know how to turn that off, and I don't care to know. I just, whatever. Alright, so this week I am talking about Arana. Her real name is Anya Corazon, and she is one of the Spider Ladies in the Marvel Universe. She's also known as Spider-Girl. So, on her first day at Milton Summers High School in Fort Greene, Brooklyn, Anya Corazon is friends with classmate Lynn Sakura. She is later caught in a skirmish between two mystical clans called the Spider Society and the Sisterhood of the Wasp, and she's mortally wounded. To save her life, the mage Miguel Lagar, or Legar, or I don't know. I like Miguel Lagar, it just rolls better. From the Spider Society, performs a ritual on her by giving her a spider-shaped tattoo that endows her with spider-like powers, and recruits her to be a hunter for the Spider Society. WebCorp's operatives Nina Smith and Ted Mankowski offer her various costumes, but she decides to make her own. She designs a costume as Arana, with red and blue sneakers, blue track pants, red backpack, red gloves with many pockets, and large yellow lensed goggles. As part of her powers, an insectoid exoskeleton covers most of her body with a bug-like bluish skin. In place of equipment like web shooters and spider tracers, Anya created her own modified bolas out of discs that are about the size of her palm and have 8 red legs able to grip objects. Anya fights a hunter from the Sisterhood of the Wasp, adversaries of the Spider Society. Okay, so while interrogating the spy for the Sisterhood of the Wasp, Anya and Miguel discovered that the Sisterhood has recruited a 15-year-old boy codenamed Amun, a descendant of Egyptian assassins who believes the boy is skilled enough to not need to conceal his own identity. Because what better way for a sisterhood to act than to recruit a brother? Because it fits. Anyways, Anya soon meets Amun, who has enrolled at her school under the name John Kasaya. But they said he didn't need to conceal his own identity, but he gets a new name! Amazing! Alright, the two soon deduce the other's dual identities. Later, during the fight with Anya, Miguel and the Sisterhood of the Wasp, which is loosely based on sisters, Amun tells her that he will attack her loved ones if she opposes. Noting her father, Gil Corazon, is filming the fight, Anya takes Gil to safety. In her absence, Amun seriously wounds Miguel. The encounter leaves Anya doubting her duty due to the danger it poses for her loved ones. However, in a chance encounter, Spider-Man arrives, and after discussing her origins and adventures, tells her, "With great power comes great responsibility." Super original saying, hold on to it, because I have a feeling that one day that saying's going to take off. And in every age, people are called to be heroes. Soon afterwards, Anya fights Amun and in anger nearly strangles Amun to death. She is stopped and Amun runs. He runs back to the sisters. Alright. She learns that she had released the spirit of the hunter and warned not to do it again without Miguel with her. Back at WebCorp, Miguel is revived upon being reunited with Anya, and Miguel tells her the organization's history that would eventually split into wasps and spiders. After an encounter with a gunman in a coffee shop in which Anya saves Lynn and Amun without revealing her secret identity, Amun promises to respect her double life and to stop targeting her friends and family. The Sisterhood of the Wasp recruits Jaime Jade, a Mexican crime lord who has mental abilities that allows him to hypnotize other people, who is involved in the death of her mother, Sofia Corazon. Okay. Miguel, that seems pretty specific. I'm sure it wasn't meant to be that specific. But Miguel stops Anya from going after Jade alone, with the promise that Anya can punish Jade afterwards. Anya and Amun develop a loose truce because Amun has lost his father as well. So he checks into Jade's possible involvement in Sofia's death. Jade hypnotizes Anya into fighting Miguel. But she eventually breaks free, but they eventually break free of the control and knocks Jade out. When Jade wakes up, the car Jade is in is suspended by a rope over the river. Jade thinks she's bluffing, saying Little Miss Superhero won't want my death on her conscience, to which he replies, "No, my conscience feels fine," and lets go of the rope. Amun arrives too late, but Anya reluctantly dives into the water to save Jade, but the crime lord has already escaped. All right, so there's a lot with that. Sorry, if I seem distracted, it's because my little beagle puppy wants a hug and has decided to come into my office and get a hug. Okay, back to it. In the one-shot Spider-Man Arana, the Hunter revealed, she discovers that her exoskeleton is not an ability from being a hunter, but she has in fact never been a true hunter. While facing a gigantic monster summoned by the Wasp, she grants her hunter abilities to Nina and renounces webcore. After Miguel is killed, saving Nina from the Wasp's hunter, Nina is webcore's chosen champion, and Anya is free to pursue a new fate. Anya, who is still known as Arana at this time, is next seen teaming up with the new Nomad, who is Ricky Barnes, to investigate the Secret Empire. Although information Arana obtained from her father turned out to be a trap, the pair nonetheless bonded and shared secret identities. So I guess it was one of those, like, you show me mine and I'll show you yours, only for identities. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Both she and Ricky joined the superhero group Young Allies together. Anya joins the superhero group Young Allies along with her friend Ricky, despite being depowered. During the team's first storyline, Anya and Ricky are kidnapped by a team of teenage supervillains known as the Bastards of Evil. Let me say that for a teenage group of supervillains, that is the best name ever. Because, teenagers just don't care. They don't care. So they're like, we're just going to call ourselves the Bastards of Evil. Anyway, the Bastards link up a video feed onto the bound and gagged heroines across televisions, computers, and cell phones throughout New York City, with the intent of executing the girls in order to build up their reputations. After having the duct tape ripped from her mouth by Electro's daughter, Aftershock, Anya cleverly divides the villains by informing them that Aftershock has lied about her parentage in order to get a spot on the Bastards. With their captors distracted, Anya and Ricky escape and ultimately defeat the Bastards once the rest of the Young Allies arrive. Alright, Anya accepts the Spider-Girl moniker and begins operating solo, although she frequently interacts with her Young Ally teammates, as well as Spider-Man and the Invisible Woman. When Gil is killed, she fights the Red Hulk, who she initially believes is responsible. She is eventually convinced that the Red Hulk did not kill Gil, but rather a target of the assassination attempt that also killed her father. She eventually is able to stop the Raven Society organization that was behind Gil's death. And the intervening time shows that she made friends with Rocky Flint, who fought Anna Kravinoff, the new Hobgoblin, and Screwball. So have you noticed that all the teams, aside from the Bastards, of course, have like animal references? The Spider Society, the Sisterhood of the Wasp, the what is this one? The Raven Society, excuse me, whatever. Alright. Later, the Young Allies and several members of the Avengers Academy are kidnapped by Arcade. Anya manages to escape and works with Reptile to rescue the remaining captives. The two teens flirt with one another, and Anya ends up giving her phone number to Reptile once Arcade is defeated. So, good job. Good job, Reptile. Alright, during the Fear Itself storyline, Anya, X-23, Amadeus Cho, Power Man, and Thunderstrike, which these are Power Man the Kid version, and which is not really kid, but young adult, not the Luke Cage. And Thunderstrike, which is last week's Thunderstrike's son, who took his name. They're teleported to a station in the middle of the Pacific Ocean where they fight samurai sharkmen. Yes, because we've gone all the way back to the 80s on this. Excuse me, I am sorry for coughing. Later, Anya and the Young Allies are almost beaten by Hydra Men until Spider-Man shows up. So I wonder if this is like Spider-Man or Hydra Man and the Samurai Sharkmen. Now I'm going to be honest with you. Samurai are awesome. Sharks are awesome. So if you merge them together, that might be a pretty awesome supervillain. But I wouldn't call it the Samurai Sharkman. Just saying. Alright, anyways. Spider-Girl joins Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, and the other spider totems from all over the multiverse to fight the Inheritors who threaten to destroy every spider from all realities in the event Spider-Verse. Her abilities were indispensable for the Spider Army to discover the Inheritors' plan, as her powers and relationship with the Spider Society allowed her to read their scrolls. After the Inheritors were defeated and exiled on an irradiated Earth, the Spider Totems proceeded to return to their respective realities. After the universe of Spider UK was revealed to have been destroyed while he was fighting the Inheritors, he decided to stay in Loom World, the former base of the Inheritors, and used the web of life and destiny to reach out to any reality in need of a Spider-Man. Spider-Girl decided to join him in order to make use of her knowledge of the totems. During the Secret Wars event, when all the universes were destroyed and their remains formed a single planet called Battleworld, Anya and Spider UK found themselves in the domain called Arachnia with no memories of how they got there. They eventually discovered and teamed up with other spider-powered people like Spider-Woman, Spider-Ham, Spider-Man Noir, and Spider-Man India, neither of whom remembered their previous encounter during the original Spider-Verse crossover. So, that's the history. That's the history. That's a rich history, I guess. You know, she's kind of like thrown into the whole Spider-Verse, and then she's held her own. So, what are her powers? Okay, as Arana, she originally possessed superhuman strength, which enabled her to lift about 3 tons. She had speed, stamina, reflexes, agility, coordination, balance, and endurance. Anya had the ability to cling to walls and to sprout a spider-like exoskeleton around her body, which enhanced these abilities and protected her from damage. When her exoskeleton was ripped out by Doomsday Man, not like Doomsday from DC, but Doomsday Man, because there's a difference, she retained her primary powers. Anya invented spider-like grappling hooks, which she used to swing from buildings and as a whip-like weapon, though she has found these to be harder to use since losing her abilities. Okay, when she turned to Spider-Girl, the writer, Paul Tobin, stated in an interview with Newsarama that the character initially lacked superpowers, but Tobin said they'll be staying away from having her feel crippled by any power loss. It's for sure on her mind, but Anya is a character that wants to focus on what she can do. Tobin revealed that Anya regains her powers in the Spider Island storyline, where the Jackal copies Spider-Man's powers into the entire non-superhuman population of New York, including Anya. Anya submits to the mass cure, but remains her copy of the powers nonetheless. And that's probably because of her link with the Spider Society. So I like this. I wanted to make sure I included that in there because the writer was awesome in this. They're like, we don't want to use her loss of powers as a crippling thing, as something that holds her back. We want her to be kind of inventive and figure out what she can do and how she can still make a difference. So I think that's amazing. And I think that's how characters should be written. And now she's got, I believe, Puerto Rican descent. So, we're looking at a Puerto Rican character. So someone with Hispanic, Latin American origins. That is becoming a hero and holding her own in many, many ways. And, and instead of being like, oh, well, my powers were taken away, or I lost my powers, boo-hoo for me, she doesn't even acknowledge it. She just focuses on what she can do and how she can still make a difference. And that's the kind of role model that we need. So, what do you guys think? Let me know. Send me a message, comment, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I would love to hear your thoughts on Arana. because I think it's awesome. I think she's an awesome character. But we are coming up to my favorite part, which is the power expansion set. This is where I go and like decide, do we need to have a show about them? Do we need to have a movie? Is an animated series better? Should we just do a whole comic line, like, and reboot the comics? I've covered it all, and this one's no exception. Like, we've seen this. I've seen this character. I've loved this character, but I don't really know where I would place this character. Like, she's got an amazing journey, and she can definitely hold her own in a comic series or even a movie. But with that being said, I don't think a movie would really work. We've already got Spider-Man and Venom, and I don't think we really need to muddy up the water, so to speak, with more spider-related characters. Because it would just seem like an off-brand kind of version. It would, and there's too many people that are familiar with spider characters like Spider-Man and stuff and Venom. And they're familiar with the movie or with the characters through the movies. So they're not familiar with like Arana through the comics, and they would look and be like, man, they're gonna try to play a virtue signaling thing by putting it on a minority woman when this already been established, and we already have multiple awesome Spider-Men. I don't think we need to do that, because it's just going to open a can of worms that don't need to be opened because they're being done for the wrong reasons. Because, people want to complain about everything nowadays. So, what I was thinking that would be cool is, there was this Web Warriors animated series, and that she was in it. But what if we had something like an Amazon Prime or Netflix type series, stuff like that, Hulu, whatever, where we delve into a live action Spider-Verse. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the animated Into the Spider-Verse movie, and it worked. It worked amazingly well. I loved it. But I do think a Tales from the Spider-Verse series would be amazing as well. Like, would be awesome. Like, we could have 1 to 2 episode sets. So not the season is 1 to 2 episodes, but it's just each set deals with a different spider character. So that's why I'm saying 1 to 2 episode sets. I'm sorry if you hear like sniffling and stuff. I'm getting over a cold. And it's but the show must go on. But anyway, we can go into like the Punk Spider-Man, the Captain Britain Spider-Man, the Captain Universe Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Man India, and Arana. We could do all these different spider characters as 1 to 2 episode sets and have them kind of intertwine with a common energy or enemy, connecting them, and then we can kind of unfold from there. That way you're getting little pieces, and you're learning about the characters and stuff. And one of the things I liked about the Into the Spider-Verse animated movie was that they introduced a new character. They gave a really 10-second rundown, and that was really all you needed to know. And then you just went on to the story. So it could be stuff like that. But the age-old question, who do we cast? So I looked at actresses in their 20s and with Puerto Rican heritages. Now, I was willing to expand to Latin American, Hispanic heritages, but I really wanted to start my search with someone in their 20s and Puerto Rican. Mainly because Anya Corazon is a Puerto Rican character, and in the series she's a high schooler, but she ends up in her 20s. When it's all said and done, she's in her 20s. So I wanted someone that we could work with, and I found a great choice. This is one that I stand behind. I've given a bunch of other castings. I mean, this is episode like 56, 57, I think. So I've done a bunch of these castings. I found Victoria Justice. Love Victoria Justice. She's awesome. She's, if you look at her, imagine her in the Spider-Girl uniform, but not like in a pervy way, but like she could fit. She could fit. She's got an athletic figure. She's got decent acting chops. You know, she's gotten her series done. She's done stuff. She's made a jerk of herself in movies and stuff. Like, you know, if you guys have never watched a movie Fun Size, I recommend it. It's like a Nickelodeon film. It's like 8 or 9 years old. It's a fun movie. I still watch it to this day. I just had like as background stuff because it's funny and it's amusing. But I think she'd be a perfect fit. What do you guys think? Like, I think out of most of my castings, this is one of the best castings overall that I can think of. I really think Victoria Justice could do a good job. Do you have better suggestions? Do you agree with me? Let me know. Comment, like, subscribe, share if you're watching this on YouTube. If you are listening to me on Outworld Fleet Radio or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, you can shoot me a message, shoot me an email at b4itall, so b4itall@yahoo.com. You can also catch me on Twitter, Instagram, and not really Twitch under Super Deep Dive and use the hashtag superherodeepdive. I also post up superhero memes throughout the week. I've kind of taken a back seat with that recently, and it's mainly because of the whole Ukraine situation. I'm going to say this publicly for the world to hear. I stand with Ukraine. If I have any Ukrainian audience, I pray that you guys get through whatever is going on over there. I pray that, you know, you guys are healthy, that you guys are as safe as possible, and I really pray for your protection, guys. But I'm gonna cut out for now. I've got some great shows coming up. Lately, it's been really Marvel heavy. Next week, I'm going to be stepping into the DC universe. Then we'll come back to Marvel, and then, we're going to hang out Marvel again for a little bit. But if you guys have any requests, let me know. Comment, like, critique, share, all this stuff. Help me grow the channel, please. I'm at, if I can get 500 subscribers, I think I said 1,000 before. If I can get 500 subscribers, I'll do a giveaway. It'll be great. It'll be wonderful. And everyone has a YouTube account. So if you are listening to me wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, just go and like and subscribe on YouTube. It won't hurt you. Just ignore the videos if you don't want to listen to them. If you listen to them on your podcast station, whatever. I don't care. Just help me grow. All right. In the meantime, guys, I'm going to head out. I hope everyone stays blessed. I hope everyone stays happy. I hope everyone really in Ukraine stays safe. I hope everyone stays smart. And if you're not smart, don't get caught. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.